Another year is here, and that means another OnePlus smartphone has graced us with its presence. This is the OnePlus 13, and you know what? I'm not even being sarcastic. OnePlus offers something that's very hard to find these days. Let me explain. Over the last little while, I've been putting the smartphone through its paces, through the review factory, if you will, and if you haven't caught my award-winning video on its predecessor, be sure to click the link below. But for the OnePlus 13, let's start from the beginning. Real quick, inside of the OnePlus 13, we have the Snapdragon 8 Elite, we have 16 gigabytes of RAM in my specific model, and a 6,000 milliamp hour battery, but more on that later. So with the design here, it's basic. I mean, it's standard, something I would definitely expect to see out of OnePlus. I do like some of the minor refinements that we have here, such as around the camera housing. It's a little bit redesigned there compared to its predecessor. And overall, I mean, the phone has a nice grip to it. It really feels good in the hand. I also dig this new black Eclipse color, but there is also Midnight Ocean and Arctic Dawn if those are your flavors. But I do like the black because it has this nice like wood grain matte finish to it. It just looks really cool. One thing I am 100% here for is a flatter display this time around. It's not completely flat, but it's definitely a move in the right direction in my opinion. Speaking of that display, it is a 6.82 inch 120 hertz display with a peak brightness of 4,500 nits. It's absolutely bright, it's colorful, it looks fantastic in my opinion. And according to DisplayMate, the OnePlus 13 sets or matches 21 smartphone display performance records. So yeah, I mean, there's that. It's a good looking display. Like, you're not gonna have any issues with it. The alert slider is here present on the side, which is always nice to see. And overall, like I said, there are some just minor refinements here to the design this year. And they're all in the right direction for me personally, but I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comments section. On top of that, the OnePlus 13 has IP68 and IP69 dust and water resistance. And if you were curious about IP69, Google it. Yeah, seriously. It's to protect against high temperature water jets and steam cleaning. No, seriously, look it up. So when it comes to performance, I'm sure you'd be shocked and surprised if I told you that this thing is littered with bugs and stuttery software and it just doesn't do anything great, right? Yeah, I mean, I would too. This thing is absolute butter. With that Snapdragon 8 Elite and 16 gigabytes of RAM, there is absolutely no stopping this. And the software experience, Oxygen OS 15, it's absolutely breezy. Everything in the software experience is snappy and so chill and not in your face, and I've always loved that about the OnePlus software experience. One thing that's definitely here, but certainly not overdone, is the presence of AI. It's honestly mild and offers things you would expect, like the ability to erase an object or something in an image through AI. You also have the ability to reword your text or reformat things and other AI image enhancing software features. And I mean, they work as expected and they're not like kind of shoved into your face, which I just appreciate. Sure, you can also count on Google Gemini at your fingertips by holding down the power button, but like I said, it's not like littered with AI. This phone isn't built on the fact that it's using AI to sell it to you. It's built on a powerful and clean experience, and I can just appreciate that take on things. This year on the backside, we have a familiar situation with updated internals. This time around, we've got 50 megapixels across the board. From the ultra wide lens to the standard to the 3x telephoto, you're shooting 50 megapixels, and by default, it's spitting out 12 megapixel photos. But if you want to, there is a high res mode, so you can shoot in 50 megapixels for yourself. There's also a master mode in the camera app that will give you access to all of the pro settings that you need, as well as an action mode to kind of slow down those moments when you're taking a photo. And on top of that, we have the ability to shoot up to 8K 30 or 4K 60. I really wish we had 4K 120 in the camera this year. That would have been great. I think you can shoot up to 1080 240 as far as slow-mo goes, so keep that in mind. But anyway, how does the camera perform? Let's check it out. You know what? I've really enjoyed these cameras. Photos on the other end are true to life, have great dynamic range, and I don't feel like anything is oversaturated compared to what I saw in the moment. The quality is exceptional, but again, these are all things that I would expect, though I do prefer how these cameras are tuned compared to other flagships out there. Obviously, a smartphone camera should perform pretty great in daylight, but honestly, low light performance here is great as well. I didn't notice anything that stood out to me as bad or abnormal, and photos shot in lower light, typically have a warmer tone to them, but that's not necessarily a bad thing for me, and it really did a great job reproducing the colors which other cameras have struggled with. Really, this camera is a solid performer in my experience on all of its sensors. It's not a shining star, but it's certainly not a falling star. It's just sitting right there in a good place, and I think that it's definitely praiseworthy. And if you want to see a full gallery of photos that I've shot on the OnePlus 13, I will leave one linked in the description below. Are you going to notice a huge difference in quality over last year? Probably not, but you know what? I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments. Also, be sure to subscribe and hit the thumbs up button if you want to see how the OnePlus 13 compares against other Android flagships out there. So with that performance, the software, and the cameras, how does it hold up throughout the day? I mean, it's packing a 6,000 milliamp hour battery, right? It has to be good, doesn't it? Yes to all of that. It's definitely a good contender in the battery department and will easily make it through the day for you like no problem. And on top of that, it has 80-watt wired charging, which will get you from 0 to 100% in 36 minutes. You also have 50-watt wireless charging with OnePlus's thick little puck right here, and that works just by touching it to the back of the phone, or if you have the new magnetic case system from OnePlus, which is essentially giving your OnePlus 13 MagSafe. It's compatible with MagSafe accessories, and this little guy just pops right on the back there and sticks to the back of this case. It's actually pretty neat, so definitely check out those accessories if you're looking for something like that. On the other hand, MagSafe is nothing new, and we've seen this done before in the Android space, but I'd love to know your thoughts. And really, for the price, I mean, starting at $899, it's a great phone for what you pay. We live in a time where there's not a lot of dramatic innovation in the smartphone industry. It's just not something you see often, and in my belief, that's why you see a lot of AI crammed into devices to sell you on that device to make it seem better in your eyes. But there's something to be said about the restraint that it takes to keep it simple. And I think in the best way possible, OnePlus settles for that.